Hulk Hogan's legacy just took a shocking turn as the FBI has uncovered a secret tunnel hidden beneath his mansion, revealing a side of the wrestling icon that fans never imagined.
We will not be answering any questions, but we will provide additional information when it becomes available.
We won't be taking any questions right now, but more details will be shared as they come out. And the biggest surprise is that his daughter is directly involved in it.
This is what this business is all about, and we know that.
What exactly were they hiding and why? Let's break down this shocking discovery. Behind the walls of a luxury mansion lay secrets no one expected. When federal investigators arrived at the sprawling waterfront compound once home to professional wrestling's most iconic figure, they couldn't have imagined uncovering one of the most startling finds in celebrity real estate history. The mansion at 130 Willowdale Drive in Bear, Florida, was about to reveal details that could forever alter the way the Hogan family legacy is remembered. This is the very property that captured millions of viewers on VH1's hit reality show Hogan Knows Best. The inquiry began as a standard estate process following Hogan's death on July 24, 2025, from cardiac arrest at his Clearwater Beach residence. But what started out routine quickly turned sinister when investigators noticed unusual anomalies in the mansion's blueprints, discrepancies, that led them to uncover one of the most elaborate underground networks ever found beneath a celebrity's home. To truly grasp the weight of this discovery, we need to rewind to the golden age of Hulkamania, when Terry Gene Bollea, better known as Hulk Hogan, was riding the wave of unprecedented fame. In 1992, at the very peak of his wrestling career, Hogan bought a 1.5-acre waterfront lot for $2 million, envisioning it as the ultimate family retreat. What he went on to build became legendary, though it now appears the estate may not have been used for the purpose Hogan originally intended. The 17,000-square-foot French chateau-style mansion took nearly 8 years to complete, a project that reflected the painstaking attention to detail invested into every inch of its design.
A little bit of a background on the house. It's an 18th century replica of a French farmhouse.
Linda Hogan's deep fascination with Parisian architecture turned out to be far more significant than anyone could have imagined at the time. The intricate design of the estate, complete with 5 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms, provided the ideal cover for what investigators now believe was a highly sophisticated underground operation quietly in the works for decades. On the surface, the mansion's features were already legendary. The estate showcased a massive waterfront pool accented by a 2-level cascading waterfall flowing over a flagstone patio. A design so extravagant, it created a theatrical backdrop for the family's everyday life.
This is the 99-foot drop into the 100-foot deep end of the pool.
But the property's strategic location now takes on a new level of importance. Because sitting on the prestigious Intracoastal Waterway, the mansion looked out toward Sand Key, Clearwater Beach, the Intracoastal, the Clearwater Pass to the Gulf of Mexico, giving it not only stunning views but also multiple escape routes and natural surveillance advantages that investigators say would have been invaluable for any operation under the surface. And the private dock with 2 boat lifts and jet ski storage served a double purpose as both family recreation and, what authorities now suspect, a cover for a sophisticated smuggling setup, with the so-called stealth mode jet skis that were kept covered taking on a chilling new meaning. In light of the discoveries, since what Hogan presented as leisure, equipment may have been chosen for its ability to move quietly and quickly in coastal waters during nocturnal runs. While the mansion's interior only added more opportunities for concealment because the gourmet kitchen and butler's pantry included service passages linking different parts of the house, the 4-car garage allowed discreet vehicle access away from the front, and even seemingly harmless rooms like the tanning salon and gym provided soundproof spaces where sensitive conversations could be held without fear of eavesdropping.
Over here are the stealth mode jet skis that are all covered.
The mansion's elaborate window treatments and advanced automated systems were designed not only for comfort, but also for rapid lockdown when needed, with features like the so-called Open Sesame command, allowing instant control in case of unexpected visitors or suspicious activity. Yet what investigators now point to as most revealing wasn't the architecture itself, but the entertainment factor and constant flow of high-profile guests. Because from 2005 to 2007, the VH1 reality show Hogan Knows Best turned the home into a stage set, making it the perfect cover for any unusual behavior, since who would ever suspect a criminal operation in a property that was literally broadcasting daily life to millions of viewers? And the show's production schedule conveniently established predictable windows when the house would be under surveillance and when it would be relatively private, while the steady traffic of cast and crew provided natural camouflage for other individuals who might need discreet entry. And although the cameras rolled endlessly, authorities now suspect that certain editing decisions may have intentionally kept particular rooms or activities hidden from broadcast, a tactic not unheard of among celebrities, whose homes often contain unique or concealed features designed to keep the public from seeing everything behind the curtain. Things like secret tunnels, hidden escape rooms, and underground shelters are often only uncovered once investigators start asking the right questions. And history has given us some striking examples of how far celebrities have gone to conceal private spaces. One of the most famous cases comes from the Playboy Mansion, once owned by Hugh Hefner, where in 2015 staff stumbled across old Polaroid photos in the archives, showing what appeared to be tunneling construction from the 1970s, followed by blueprints suggesting possible underground passages connecting the mansion to nearby celebrity homes, including those of Jack Nicholson and Warren Beatty. While some believe these tunnels were actually used during wild Hollywood parties, others argue they were merely drafts that were never completed, though Playboy insisted the tunnels, if they ever existed, were sealed in 1989. More recently, in 2023, reports emerged that Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg was developing a massive underground facility on his 1,400-acre estate in Kauai, Hawaii, fueling speculation that the trend of elaborate subterranean structures among the rich and famous is far from a thing of the past. This facility was reported to include a 5,000 square foot shelter equipped with mechanical rooms, an escape hatch, and soundproof doors. What makes it especially interesting is that it wasn't uncovered by authorities during an investigation, but instead revealed through construction permits and architectural filings submitted to local building departments. Journalists reviewing the paperwork brought the story to light, and locals later confirmed the scale of construction, with many describing it as a doomsday bunker. Zuckerberg himself later brushed off the claims, saying it was just a small shelter with basic features. And he's not the only celebrity tied to such projects. In 2020, David and Victoria Beckham submitted planning applications for extensive renovations to their Cotswolds estate in England, including an underground escape tunnel connecting the main house to a gatehouse. Because British planning documents are public record, the plans, including a wine cellar, security gatehouse, and a tunnel designed for emergency safety, quickly made headlines. These examples show that Hulk Hogan's case is far from isolated. It's part of a larger pattern of celebrities building secretive and sometimes controversial underground facilities. And it's not just the tunnels making headlines. It's the involvement of people inside Hulk Hogan's own household. This revelation has peeled back the carefully polished image the Hogan family presented to the world, exposing layers of dysfunction that investigators believe created the perfect storm for secrecy and misconduct. What looked like the picture-perfect all-American wrestling family was, in reality, a volatile mix of financial stress, fractured relationships, and hidden resentments. The first public crack appeared in 2007, when Hogan's divorce from Linda erupted into a bitter and costly legal battle. This wasn't just another high-profile celebrity split. It dismantled the financial empire the family had built over decades. The fallout couldn't have come at a worse time, colliding with the housing market crash and ultimately forcing the family to unload their beloved Bel Air mansion at a massive loss. This combination of personal turmoil and financial pressure not only tarnished their public image, but, according to investigators, may have created the conditions that allowed a darker, hidden side of the Hogan legacy to grow beneath the surface.
We have so many windows that you can't sleep in the morning, so I had to put all these drapes up, and it got a little goopy, but we love it.
Open sesame.
Abracadabra.
Linda's emotional breakdown highlighted just how deep the Hogan family's financial and personal struggles had become. But investigators now suggest that this very public display of vulnerability may have been more than just raw emotion. It may have been a deliberate smokescreen to draw attention away from what they believe was the family's true financial lifeline, the underground operation running beneath their mansion. When the Bel Air estate first hit the market in June 2006, it carried a jaw-dropping $25 million price tag, making it the most expensive home on Florida's west coast at the time. Yet, after years of failed listings, repeated price cuts, and the crushing blow of the housing market crash, it finally sold on April 17, 2012, for just $6.2 million, a staggering loss that should have left the family in financial ruins. And yet, almost inexplicably, the Hogans were able to turn around and purchase another luxury waterfront property right away, raising even more questions about where their money was really coming from. The speed with which Hulk Hogan snapped up his $3.3 million Clearwater Beach mansion, just days after unloading the Bel Air estate at a devastating loss, has become one of the biggest red flags in the case. How does someone take a nearly $19 million hit and then instantly rebound with another luxury property purchase? Federal investigators now believe the answer lies in income streams that never made it onto tax records. At the heart of these hidden operations, shockingly, was Hogan's daughter. Brooke Hogan's alleged involvement has stunned even those who thought they already knew the family's darkest secrets. Her role becomes even more disturbing when you consider her upbringing, years of being sheltered, overprotected, and denied a normal teenage life. Investigators now suggest that while she was being shielded from the outside world, she was also being carefully groomed to take part in activities that could carry serious legal consequences.
My kids to this day are still reeling that they can't get their feet back on planet Earth, and I can't get my life back on track either. I don't know. What am I supposed to do? Start over now? I'm 57 and, you know, I don't know where I fit in this world anymore.
Hogan's intense control over his daughter's personal life now takes on an entirely new dimension in light of the investigation. Authorities suspect that what once seemed like overprotectiveness may have actually been preparation, conditioning Brooke for roles in the family's underground operations where loyalty and silence were essential. By isolating her from normal friendships and experiences, Hogan may have ensured she remained dependent on family approval and far less likely to challenge questionable behavior. The 2015 racist remarks scandal shines a harsh light on this dynamic. When leaked audio captured Hogan using racist language in a conversation about Brooke's dating life, the family's response was immediate, polished, and strikingly coordinated. To investigators, that reaction didn't look like a family blindsided by controversy. It looked like a team with years of practice in damage control, raising fresh questions about how deeply Brooke may have been entangled in the enterprise behind the Hogan legacy.
I'm almost 18 and I haven't even had a boyfriend yet.
Well, that's good.
Brooke's polished defense of her father during the scandal revealed far more than simple loyalty. It showed the precision of someone trained in managing public perception. The way she acknowledged wrongdoing while carefully steering attention away from lasting consequences displayed skills that don't come naturally but are honed through deliberate coaching and repeated practice. What truly raised eyebrows, however, was her access to the transcripts themselves. Investigators questioned why Brooke, of all people, would have access to private records of her father's conversations. For a typical family, such detailed documentation would be unusual, even unnecessary. But in the context of the Hogan household, it suggested something far more deliberate. A pattern of systematic record-keeping that mirrored the operational discipline of a criminal enterprise. This revelation paints Brooke not just as a bystander, but as someone potentially groomed to play an active role in preserving and protecting the family's hidden operations.
So supportive. She was the direction of my attack. You know, I was not so mad at her boyfriend. I was mad at her, you know, and she instantly said, I don't even need to forgive you because I'm not mad at you. I love you.
Hogan's later clarification that his infamous racist rant was actually aimed at Brooke rather than her boyfriend exposed the deeper, more unsettling reality of the family dynamic. His anger wasn't driven by racial prejudice, it was about control. Specifically, it reflected his fear that Brooke's outside relationships could compromise the secrecy and security of the family's hidden operations. Brooke's quick forgiveness and renewed loyalty in the aftermath highlighted just how deeply conditioned she had become to protect both her father and the family enterprise at all costs. But this wasn't the only crack in the Hogan facade. Other vulnerabilities hinted at internal instability, including Hogan's own struggles with substance abuse. In multiple interviews, he admitted to a serious prescription pill addiction brought on by the pain of undergoing 10 separate back surgeries. Federal investigators now believe this addiction may have impaired his judgment during critical moments, creating additional risks for an operation that relied so heavily on discipline, secrecy, and absolute control.
That's not who he is, though. He's not racist.
The details of Hogan's prescription drug abuse paint a picture of both dependency and systemic enablement. Pharmacies reportedly calling him directly to remind him of ready prescriptions suggest a supply chain that either failed to recognize or chose to ignore the depth of his addiction. Investigators note that this type of medical enablement often goes hand in hand with criminal networks, particularly in cases where compromised or injured individuals need to remain functional to keep operations running smoothly. But the most damaging cracks in the Hogan legacy came not from outside forces, but from within the family itself. In 2025, Brooke Hogan publicly accused her parents of years of verbal, mental, and at times physical abuse stretching back to her childhood. These allegations weren't dismissed as ordinary family conflicts. They were seen as systematic methods of control designed to maintain loyalty and silence, hallmarks of a family enterprise built on secrecy. Brooke's 2023 legal request to be removed from her father's will, which at the time seemed like a financial move, now appears to have been a calculated effort to sever ties before federal scrutiny closed in. Her public statement about protecting her father from people who were exploiting him is now interpreted as a veiled signal about the looming criminal exposure the family faced. Linda Hogan's combative response only added fuel to the fire. By threatening legal action and branding her own daughter as a narcissist, making ridiculous allegations, Linda revealed the desperation of a family more concerned with preserving its secrets than with healing its fractures, even if that meant tearing itself apart from within. With everything investigators have uncovered, it now appears that the psychological warfare inside the Hogan family created the exact conditions for a criminal enterprise to take root, because family members who were too afraid to speak, too dependent to leave, and too compromised to seek help became the perfect participants in activities demanding absolute secrecy and loyalty. So where does this lead, and how extensive are Hulk Hogan's tunnel system and possible illegal operations? The federal probe's first real breakthrough, investigators say, came from surprising architectural discrepancies found during the routine probate process after Hogan's death.
Just before 10 a.m. today, Clearwater Fire and Rescue, along with the Clearwater Police Department, responded to a house in the 1000 block of El Dorado Avenue for a medical-related call. It was discovered at that time Terry Bollea, also known as Hulk Hogan, was experiencing a serious medical-related issue.
The first police statement after Hogan's death claimed there were no signs of foul play, but as investigators dug deeper, new findings emerged, raising doubts about whether his sudden cardiac arrest was truly natural or connected to the mounting pressure of the federal probe that was closing in on the family's underground operations. And the timing, just months before what sources say was a planned major raid, has fueled speculation that stress, or perhaps something more deliberate, played a role. While Hogan's body had endured decades of punishment from wrestling, with 25 surgeries in 10 years, including multiple back, hip, knee, shoulder, and neck operations, his May 2025 neck fusion surgery added another layer of strain. Yet despite the pain, he publicly maintained a positive image, joking about needing new parts, even as the private reality was far darker. Surprisingly, Hogan was up and walking the day after his neck fusion, with his team publicly praising the speed of his recovery. Yet behind the optimism, friends voiced private concerns that he was pushing himself far too quickly. Even while healing, he threw himself into projects, promoting his Real American beer brand and sketching plans for a new wrestling promotion. An exhausting pace for a man whose body had already endured decades of punishment. Then, on July 24, 2025, Hogan collapsed from a heart attack at his Clearwater, Florida home. Paramedics fought for 30 minutes before rushing him to Morton Plant Hospital, where he was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. On the surface, his passing could be explained by years of accumulated health issues, but the discovery of the hidden tunnel system has shifted the narrative. Investigators now wonder whether the immense stress of federal scrutiny and the secrets buried beneath his properties played a far greater role in his final days than anyone realized.
We got Hulk Hogan ornaments. We got Hulk Hogan lunch boxes. We got Hulk Hogan dolls. We got Hulk Hogan Halloween masks. We got Hulk Hogan everything, man.
The evidence found in the tunnel system reveals a long-running operation that relied on Hogan's fame and the family's carefully built image to hide years of illegal activity. Hulk Hogan, whose real name was Terry Gene Bollea, was more than just a wrestler. He became a global pop culture figure. From his time in the ring to his appearances in movies and television, Hogan created a brand that millions instantly recognized. His unique voice, trademark look, and unforgettable catchphrases made him a household name, not only in America, but worldwide. Beginning his wrestling career in the late 1970s, Hogan rose to superstardom throughout the 1980s and 1990s with the World Wrestling Federation, now known as WWE. He headlined the first 9 WrestleMania events, embodying the patriotic, real American character that fans loved, always dressed in his iconic red and yellow, striking his signature poses, and finishing matches with the famous leg drop. Yet Hogan's reach went beyond wrestling, as he starred in films like Rocky III and Mr. Nanny, and later opened the doors of his family life to millions through the reality show Hogan Knows Best. This kept Hogan in the spotlight long after his wrestling career began to slow down. In the early days, he wrestled for smaller promotions, where he wasn't yet a star and earned only modest pay. Experts estimate he made between $50,000 and $100,000 per year during this period, adding up to around $500,000 to $1 million over 6 years. Everything changed when Hogan joined the WWF and became the face of professional wrestling. His earnings skyrocketed. He was the company's biggest attraction, bringing in huge money from matches, bonuses, and merchandise. Reports suggest he earned about $1.2 million annually, with merchandise sales from t-shirts, toys, and posters generating an additional $10 million per year. Altogether, Hogan likely made around $170 million during his WWF peak. In 1994, he moved to WCW, World Championship Wrestling, where his career soared again when he helped form the legendary New World Order. His contract was enormous, including a $10 million signing bonus, $3 to $5 million per year, plus a percentage of pay-per-view revenue and merchandise. During his WCW run, Hogan is believed to have earned about $40–60 million. When he eventually returned to WWE, he continued making millions through appearances, matches, and endorsements, reportedly earning $2 to $3 million per year. His reality show, Hogan Knows Best, added another $5 million, while films, sponsorships, and other projects brought in even more. Altogether, Hulk Hogan's later career likely earned him an additional $20 to $30 million, according to reports. In 2016, Hulk Hogan filed a lawsuit against the media company Gawker for releasing a private tape without his permission. He won the case and was initially awarded $140 million, though after appeals and legal costs, the final settlement was closer to $31 million. This massive payout, combined with other ventures like Hogan's Beach Shop and his beer brand, added even more to his fortune. Estimates suggest he earned roughly $120 million during this period. By the time Hogan passed away in July 2025, his net worth was reported to be around $25 million. His celebrity status and financial success had long served as the perfect cover for the Hogan family, masking what investigators now believe was a darker story hidden beneath the surface.
How tough was it? Because you have a family, right?
Yeah.
And how tough was it? I always wondered, like, to your kids, like, to be, because you're everybody's hero. Like, you were like, you know, you were a hero to so many people, right? I wonder if it's tough for a child.
The interviewer's question about the struggles of being the child of a national hero highlights just how effective Hogan's celebrity image was as a cover for the family's secret activities. After all, who would suspect that America's most beloved wrestling icon was using his mansion as the headquarters for a multi-million-dollar criminal operation? Evidence uncovered so far suggests that the illegal enterprise didn't stop when the family sold the Bear Mansion in 2012. Reports indicate that their immediate purchase of the Clearwater Beach property included architectural modifications designed to provide waterfront access and concealment. Even ground-penetrating radar surveys at the Clearwater estate have revealed unusual construction patterns that point to the tunnel system being rebuilt at the new location. Investigators now believe that Brooke's 2023 request to be removed from her father's will wasn't just about family disputes, but a calculated move tied to increasing federal surveillance. She may have realized the investigation was closing in and tried to protect herself legally and financially from the fallout of the family's operations. The scope of the investigation has now widened to include dozens of associates, business partners, and even family friends who may have played roles, whether knowingly or unknowingly, in the Hogan family's alleged operations. Federal analysts are also revisiting the reality show Hogan Knows Best, combing through its episodes for possible coded messages or operational details that could have been hidden in plain sight during its original broadcast. As prosecutors prepare their cases, the true scale of these activities and Brooke Hogan's level of involvement is slowly being revealed. What started as a few suspicious architectural details in a celebrity mansion has spiraled into a multi-agency probe that could redefine how public images and family bonds are used to conceal criminal enterprises. If the evidence holds up, Hulkamania's once untouchable legacy may be permanently tarnished, and the hero millions of fans admired could be remembered in a much darker light. How do you think this will play out? Share your thoughts in the comments, and for more stories like this, make sure to click the next video on your screen.